Wow. We have a standing room only crowd. This is unbelievable.
I know. What a show.
My name is Neil Zaza. I'm one of the co-founders of Rock Boot Camps. And I know everyone's eagerly anticipating seeing these great rock bands play, but we're just going to each say a few words about, our experience here this past weekend. I have to say, first and foremost, and I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart, you guys have some of the most talented, individualistic kids that I could ever imagine. You guys should be so proud of yourselves. In this day and age of, talking about how bad kids are and how this and that, we've seen more self-motivated kids this weekend than ever before. We had non-mandatory rehearsals this morning if you want to get there early, and we heard stories from parents that their kids got up at like 6 in the morning. Hey man, you're going to take me to rehearsal today, right? Getting here early, and very self-motivated in that they just jammed all the time. It was absolutely amazing, and the level of talent was just astounding. So really, and I sincerely mean that, you should sit back and give yourself a round of applause, because you support your kids, you bring them to events like this, and they have parents that really love and understand them enough to really give them something they really love. And it will reward them over the rest of their lives. So I want to thank you so much. Thank you.
Right on.
Or Bobby?
Yeah, Bobby.
All right. Again, thank you all so much for coming out tonight and handing the kids off to us for the weekend. It's really been a pleasure. As Neil said, when we have the initial process of evaluating the kids, it's always a little dicey because we want to try to make sure that some of the kids are on a similar level and can function in the same bands. And we all kind of got that together after I evaluated the drummers and we looked at the guitar players and bassists and so forth. It was like, wow, they can all play. It's like, wow, they can all play. So it was really our pleasure to put together some bands. And again, I think the spirit of this whole thing, what we want to kind of sort of pre-frame the performance for you guys is that it's one thing to take lessons, to sit in your bedroom, to play along with the CDs, the comfort of your own environment, but it's a completely different thing to participate in this kind of environment where you have to function in a band setting, where you have all of the different variables of rehearsing 1 minute in a room, the next minute on the stage, then backstage, then on the stage with all the lights and the crowd. This is really the X factor, the missing link, if you will, in a musician's development, because you can't practice this at home. So what we are happy about this weekend is that we've been able to sort of create an environment, that's why I call it a boot camp, for the kids to experience all of these variables, and they know what it's like to feel nervous, and they know what it's like to be under pressure to do your part with the band and rehearsal and all those things. So we're confident tonight that you will see the fruits of the labor, so to speak, from the kids throughout the whole weekend tonight. And again, thanks so much for all the support.
Right on.
Hi, I'm Carol, and I'm the camp director. And if you hear this a lot tonight, it's because it's true. One of the incredible things about doing this camp is watching this metamorphosis of strangers coming together one day. Before the day is out, they're tight friends. The bands improve so quickly over such a short period of time, and you get to be privy to all these wonderful little dramas and comedies that get played out over the 2 days. And I just watch that, and I feel really honored to be able to be allowed to watch that process. The kids, for the most part, they were all self-directed. As soon as they got into their bands, that was it. They were so tight right away, and they didn't want to stop playing. And it was like, when I got into the parking lot last night, somebody was waiting for a ride, 2 guys were waiting for a ride, and they were both working on their parts. And then when I got here this morning, I think I just tied one of the first students here. And it was just amazing to me to see that level of enthusiasm. And I have to say this too, just an incredibly nice group of humans to be around. You really should be very happy. You weren't around to see it, so you only know what we saw. And what we saw, we were constantly backstage talking about how well they were playing, how enthusiastic they were, and really how nice and polite. And it was really pretty amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass you over to Grant Ferguson, who's one of the founders. of this camp, and he's got some announcements for you, and we'll start the concert shortly. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, everybody. I really didn't want to get insulted about my attire again tonight by Neil, so
But look at I wore a long sleeve t-shirt this time.
yeah, you really did, exactly.
We were laughing because it was self-deprecating humor last time. I was like, look how nice he looks, and look, I'm wearing a t-shirt, and everyone cheers and I have a t-shirt on, so.
So I get to be the suit. And true to form, I just wanted to mention kind of a few sort of business-related matters with regards to Rock Boot Camp. We couldn't do this without a lot of support. Obviously, first and foremost, your support and your support for your kids, which, I just want to say that you all should be proud. Not only of your kids, and you're going to see your family members or friends that you're going to see performing tonight, but really of yourselves as well in really investing in their love and their talent. Actually, my folks are here tonight as well, and I know that them letting me, basically co-op the entire basement and fill it full of guitar amps and bass amps and drums, and fill the neighborhood full of loud music, take over the garage, which in Colorado in the middle of the winter, it wasn't fun to park outside and shovel the driveway, with my band practice and stuff. So I can say personally that meant a lot to me, and I know that for your kids it means a lot for you to support them and to be, let them be here during this weekend. So I want to echo, what so far Bobby and Neil and Carol have said around just their amazing talent and commitment as well that I've witnessed. The other people that I want to just recognize briefly tonight are a couple of our sponsors. So Milano Music in Mesa were really good to us in terms of providing us with some support, posters and stuff like that in their facility, and they've given us some cymbals and drum sets for the students to beat up on over the weekend. And they also hosted a clinic that Neil did that I know some of you attended, so I want to thank them. And then we've had Jim Jeffries here from Notion Music and Progression Software all weekend, and he's been great. And one of the sessions this afternoon was kind of looking at that recording software, and he did a session with all of the kids and the adults showing that, and I think that they were real impressed. And so if any of them talk to you about it and are interested in getting a copy of that software, he is around, and he's going to be available to sell that later tonight. And then the other thing to mention is a couple more things, and then we'll get on with the show. We've got a table over here. Some of you have already tracked me down and hunted me down for a t-shirt. I know that they're popular. And we've got more t-shirts over there for sale, $20. We're also going to have some merchandise. Neil's CDs are over there, and we'll be selling those, $15 each. We are also now just passing out programs via who we want to recognize for helping us out this weekend as well. Private via, give her a hand. And what we're going to do after a few bands are going to play, and then we're going to hand out some awards and some special recognition for some folks that did some pretty cool things this weekend. So the other thing that I'm going to hold off on talking to you about until the end of the show is our next Rock Boot Camp in Phoenix. We're pretty excited about that, but we're going to let you really get into listening to some music. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. So that's coming up, though, in March of next year. So